All right, today we're going to tackle a project that can totally transform your kitchen and save you a ton of money, building a custom hanging cabinet. Now, if that sounds even a little bit intimidating, just stick around. We're going to break down every single step to prove that you can absolutely do this.
You know, when you see those beautiful custom kitchens, is your first thought something like, whoa, that's way too complicated, or maybe, I could never afford that? Yeah, that's a completely normal reaction, and it's exactly the mindset we're here to change today.
So let's just dive right in. Forget about the crazy price tags and the super complex instructions for a minute. Let's think of this as a project we're tackling together. By the end of this, you're going to have a clear roadmap to create something you can be genuinely proud of.
Okay, Section 1, Blueprint for a Dream. Before you even think about picking up a saw or a drill, we need a plan, a solid one. And trust me, this isn't the boring part. This is the secret step that pretty much guarantees your success and saves you from massive headaches down the road.
You see this checklist? It's more than just a list. It's your guide to preventing future problems. Measuring carefully means, well, your cabinet will actually fit. Choosing your wood defines the whole look and feel. And your cut list? That becomes your project's Bible, preventing wasted material. Oh, and having your tools ready means you can stay in that creative flow instead of stopping to hunt for something every 5 minutes.
Section 2, Bringing the Box to Life. All right. With our plan totally locked in, we can finally start building. This is that magic moment where flat pieces of wood start to become an actual cabinet. It's where your vision starts to take real physical form.
Now, first things first, we need to learn a key piece of woodworking lingo, the carcass. I know, it sounds a little grim, but it's simply the main box of the cabinet, the core structure that everything else gets attached to. Knowing this term, that's your first step to talking like a pro.
So here's the whole assembly process laid out. First, you'll make those precise cuts using that meticulous list from our planning stage. Next up is the secret weapon for beginners, drilling pocket holes. They create these incredibly strong joints without any complex techniques. Once those are done, you assemble the carcass, and then finally, you add the face frame. Think of the face frame like the picture frame for your cabinet. It's what hides all the raw edges and gives it that clean, professional finish.
This simple phrase right here is the single most important rule in all of woodworking. Seriously, I can't stress this enough. Taking an extra 30 seconds to double-check a measurement can save you hours of frustration and the cost of wasted wood. Believe me, every single woodworker has learned this lesson the hard way.
Section 3, the art of the finish. So the cabinet is built. Now we've reached what I think is the most transformative stage. This is where a simple wooden box becomes a beautiful piece of furniture. The finish is really equal parts protection and your own personal expression.
The first big decision here is what's right for your project. Do you want to highlight that beautiful natural wood grain? Then stain is definitely your answer. Or are you looking for a bold pop of color? Or maybe you need to hide some less than perfect plywood? Well, paint is going to be your best friend. There's really no wrong choice here. It's all about the final look you're going for. Okay, this is a huge pro tip, so listen up. Most people think a great finish comes from the brand of paint or the final coat they put on. They're wrong. The real secret, the absolute truth, is in the prep work. The time you spend sanding and preparing the surface before you even open a can of paint will have more impact on your final result than anything else. Period. So, how do you get that pro-level glass smooth finish? It really comes down to this simple but critical process. See, when you apply that first coat of finish, the moisture causes the wood grain to kind of raise up, making the surface feel rough. A very light sanding between coats knocks that raised grain right back down. With each new coat, you're just building a smoother and smoother surface. Whatever you do, do not skip this step.
Section 4, the final ascent. All right, the cabinet is built, it's beautifully finished, and now it's time for the grand finale, insulation. This is the last major step, the moment we get our creation up on the wall, right where it belongs. And let's be honest, for a lot of people, this is the most nerve-wracking part of the whole project. You've poured hours of work into your cabinet, and now you have to hang this heavy box on the wall and just, trust it to stay there? It's totally okay to feel intimidated, but don't worry, we have a game plan to make it foolproof.
And here is that foolproof plan. First, find the wall studs. You absolutely must anchor into the solid structure of your wall, not just the drywall. Next, use a level to draw a perfectly straight guideline where the bottom of the cabinet is going to sit. Now here is the ultimate pro move. Temporarily screw a board, we call it a ledger, to the wall right on that line. It acts as a little temporary shelf, holding the entire weight of the cabinet for you. This lets you drive in the screws without struggling, and it makes the whole thing an easy one-person job.
Section 5, your first masterpiece. And just like that, you've done it. Before we wrap up, let's just take a moment to step back and really appreciate what you've accomplished here. Because this is about so much more than just adding some storage to your kitchen.
I mean, just look at this journey. You started with nothing more than an idea in your head. You took raw materials and, with your own two hands, you gave them structure and purpose. You added a finish that reflects your personal style, and you conquered that final challenge of hanging it perfectly on the wall.
And that right there brings us to the real takeaway. The cabinet is the trophy for sure, but the true prize is the confidence you've just built. You now have the fundamental skills to plan, to cut, to assemble, to finish, and to install. That is a powerful new skill set that goes way, way beyond this one project.
You know that feeling of standing back and looking at your finished cabinet on the wall? That is something special. You made that. It started as just an idea, and now it's a permanent, useful, and beautiful part of your home. So, the only real question left is, what are you going to build next?